Okay, good evening. It's 6:30. Welcome, everyone. Calling the meeting to order. Mauricio?
Commissioner Joseph,
Present.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Here.
Commissioner Vizcarra,
Here.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Here.
Mayor Svetchin,
Here.
all members present, ma'am.
Great. Can I get everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Patrick, will you lead us in the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Rabbi, I believe you're going to do the invocation.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Mayor Mrs. Larissa Svetchin, and to all the commissioners of the City of Sunny Isles Beach for giving me the opportunity to address you at this important meeting. My name is Rabbi Yosef Enchimol, Rabbi of Beit Rambam Congregation, which has been serving the residents and visitors of this beautiful city for more than 16 years. It is an honor for me to be here today and to offer a few words of invocation at the opening of this commission. In this week's Torah portion, we read, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem bayom beracha. See, I place before you today a blessing and the opposite. But this verse teaches us something very profound. God calls us to see clearly that there are different ways a blessing may appear. Sometimes the blessing is obvious, health, peace, prosperity, but other times the blessing comes as a challenge that at first glance may seem like the opposite of a blessing. Yet in truth, it is part of the process of receiving one. These moments of challenges invite us to grow, to strengthen ourselves, and to discover our deeper potential. Life calls us to recognize that even within struggles, there are opportunities for blessings. With this teaching, I raise my prayer to Almighty God that He bless this commission, that each of your decisions be wise, spiritual, and constructive, and that they lead to the well-being of all. May God also bless the residents and visitors of Sunny Isles Beach with peace, prosperity, and tranquility in their homes. I would like to share something that touches us closely as a community. For 16 years, we provided our spiritual service in our synagogue, which was declared as an historic monument located at 200 178th Street. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, our lease was not renewed. We were forced to relocate temporarily to a hotel ballroom. Just a month ago, that same location was rented to a businessman who decided to establish a catering and another synagogue there. We want to make it clear that we do not share their attitude, their principles, and their ethics, and that we have no connection with that group. Our community, Beit Rambam congregation, will continue forward with faith and determination, seeking an appropriate place to serve spiritually all those who need it, as we always did it. I'd like to conclude with something very personal. We deeply love this city, and we are especially grateful for all the support and kindness we receive from the leaders and residents at the most painful moment of our lives, when the tragic accident of our son Sholem Zal occurred. While riding in a bicycle on Collins, he was hit by a car, and after struggling for 3 days for his life, he passed away in the hospital. We will never forget the solidarity, the comfort, and the compassion that this city extended to us during that tragedy. I remember you, Mayor Larissa, you came to our house to visit us, to give us comfort. May God grant us the strength to transform challenges into opportunities. And may His blessing rest upon this city, its leaders, and all its residents. May God bring back very soon the hostages in Gaza, give peace to Israel and to all the world. Am Israel Chai. Thank you very much.
Amen.
So the first item on the agenda are the approval of the minutes of the July 17th regular city commission meeting and the special city commission meeting on July 30th.
I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Any second?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
And run your opening statement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your attendance and thank you for joining us tonight. Before we begin, there are a few important reminders regarding conduct during our commission meetings. Please ensure all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode to maintain the integrity of our proceedings. Mutual respect is the foundation of productive discussions. We ask that everyone remain silent and attentive when someone is addressing the commission. Clapping, applauding, heckling, or any verbal outbursts, either in support or opposition of the speaker, are strictly prohibited. Any individual wishing to address the commission must fill out a public speaker's card and submit it to the city clerk before the relevant item is announced. Each speaker is granted a maximum of 3 minutes. Should you exceed this time, the chair will notify you to conclude your remarks. Speak directly to the agenda's points. Remain concise and avoid redundancy. Should an individual speak without the chair's permission or continue speaking after a warning, they may be escorted out of the chambers. It is essential to avoid making impertinent, slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the commission. Such behavior may lead to being barred from future commission appearances, unless the majority of the commission members present vote otherwise. The presiding officer may disallow signs or placards in the commission chamber. Please exit the chamber quietly and without disruption. The goal of our meetings is to facilitate public input and participation. However, disruptive or disorderly conduct hinders our collective objective. Individuals who want to speak on an item on the agenda are asked to fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. Speakers are asked to speak to the issues, make comments concise and to the point, and refrain from making duplicate comments. All speakers will be limited to 1 3-minute comment per item. If you exceed the 3-minute allotment, the chair will advise you to finish your comment. If you speak out of turn without permission from the chair and/or you do not cease speaking after 1 warning, you will be escorted out of chambers. In order to maintain orderly conduct and/or proper decorum at these meetings, anyone who interferes with the orderly process of the meetings after a warning may be removed from the meeting and may be barred from further appearance before the City Commission, as permitted in S-286-0114, FS and SS 74-5 and 74-21 of the City's Code of Ordinances. Any necessary removal will be made at the direction of the mayor and will be carried out by law enforcement or designated sergeant at arms. It is essential that attendees adhere to these rules of procedure to ensure productive meetings that serve both the public and the City Commission. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Great. Before we get to the order of business, we have a lot of people in the audience. Thank you for being here. If you've not been here before, I'm going to remind you throughout the meeting to fill out the public speaker cards, which are in the back, and remind you that you have 3 minutes to speak. This is a business meeting, but we want to make sure that anyone that wants to speak has that opportunity. So please be respectful of everyone's time. And again, the cards are in the back. Even if you choose not to speak, fill out the card now and you could just say, I changed my mind, okay? Mauricio?
Okay, so tonight's agenda has just a few revisions. Items 9K, which is a proclamation designating September 18th as Emmanuel Machado Day, has been revised to include co-sponsorships by members of the commission, as well as item 9M, which is a key to the city, to Consul General Mayor Elbaz Starinsky, and 9N, which is a resolution recognizing the historical and cultural significance of Judea and Samaria. And we also have one on item, but if I can have a motion for this, Mayor, for
Can I get
these
a motion,
revisions.
please, for the revisions?
I'll second.
I need a first.
Yes,
Okay,
I'll
you got
second.
it, Mauricio? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
go ahead.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Stuyvesant has an add-on resolution, which is to designate the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism under United States law.
Okay, so we normally don't have add-on items, and the reason for that is because we want to give everyone an opportunity to review it beforehand in case they want to come and speak. So the commission has to vote on whether we're going to add it on.
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Let's do it.
Aye.
Aye. That's two. Is there a third?
I'm a no. This is. Yeah, but he said yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, you're obviously a yes.
Oh, no, I make the motion.
No, I know, but you still have to vote. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, so that's going to be item
9P,
9P.
as in Peter.
All right, so that's 9P in case anybody wanted to speak. And do we have it in the back?
Yes.
Mauricio? We do? Perfect. All right. Start with ordinances.
Okay, so the first item that we have is 6A, which is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending the text of the future land use element of the adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for transmittal to the state land planning agency, and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is a text amendment to the future land use element of the city's comprehensive plan. This is going to be our first big push to fix the inconsistencies between the land development regulations and the comprehensive plan that we have been discussing since 2023. So what this amendment does is it introduces critical definitions into the future land use element that have not been in place. It updates statutory references, date references, and eliminates some redundant policies. It modifies compatibility requirements for development, updates the population projections for 2040 and 2045, and it establishes and clarifies the upper maximums for 5 specific future land use categories. And that's what I want to take a moment to walk through quickly. So on the screen are the 5 future land use categories, and this table has the existing FAR that's stated in the comp plan and the proposed FAR, the existing density, which is calculated in dwelling units per acre, and the proposed density in dwelling units per acre. So in the first 3 categories on the screen, which are low density residential, low medium density residential, and medium density residential, the comp plan policies currently don't state an intensity or an FAR for those categories. So we are proposing to establish the FAR consistent with their sister zoning district. For the density standards for these 3 categories, right now we offer a range for density. So there's a minimum density and a maximum density. We're proposing to remove that minimum standard because that planning tool really isn't applicable in these districts. So for instance, if you have a 1-acre property in the low density residential category, which is our single family district, according to the policy today, you have to build a minimum of 2.5 homes per acre. Whereas we're removing that because to allow someone to build only 1 unit per acre. The next category, medium high density residential, similarly to what I was just describing, the only change is in the existing dwelling unit per acre column because it again has that range. So we're removing the minimum density and maintaining only the maximum. And the last category is mixed use resort. So for the existing intensity language, it has a base of 2.5, and that is the only intensity that a project is entitled to in the mixed use resort district. Anything above that has to come to commission during a site plan approval process for approval. So the base today is at 2.5, and then the policy continues to say that development bonuses for FAR are allowed, but it doesn't state a specific number for the upper maximum. Similarly, for transferable development rights, it says that it's allowed and it has a 30% multiplier, but it doesn't give you that specific calculation. So what this amendment will do is maintain the base at 2.5, establish the maximum bonuses available at 4.6, and maximum TDRs at 5.98. And this is what the city has been using for all the projects in the mixed-use resort district to date. So now it will be established formally in the comprehensive plan and clearly what the maximum levels of development are. For the density, mixed-use resort already has the base at 50 units per acre and states what the bonus maximum is, which is 80 units per acre. But it doesn't have that TDR maximum for density. So what you'll see in the proposed column is to add the TDR calculation, which is 104 dwelling units per acre. And on the screen is an example that you've seen before at a previous workshop. But this is an example of a project in the mixed-use resort district. And you can see that in the bottom green, that 2.5 FAR, that's what a developer can get by right. And we're not changing that. But what we are clarifying is the bonus density, that's bonus FAR that's available, and TDRs. So that's what this graphic is trying to show you, that again, the by right is the 2.5 FAR. So with that, I am available if you have any questions. And we also have our consultant, Caitlin Forbes with Complete Cities Planning Group, who has presented to this commission before and led the workshops, and she's also available for questions.
All right, before we take questions, do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Who would like to start if you have any questions? Anyone? All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
You need a second? Thank you. Mauricio?
Commissioner Stuyvesant.
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara.
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama.
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading. Second reading will be scheduled once it's received from state agencies.
6B, please.
6B is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 265, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, entitled Definitions and Rules of Construction, and amending Article 7, entitled Zoning Districts, to permit and define certain setback encroachments in the R1 and RTH zoning districts, to clarify residential fencing regulations, to clarify pool safety barrier height requirements, and to revise setback requirements for utility and mechanical equipment, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Okay. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission, this ordinance is regarding our development standards for single-family home properties, which are in our R1 and RTH zoning districts. What this ordinance does is it introduces some definitions that were missing from the zoning code for common structural encroachments into setbacks, and it allows newly permissible encroachments into residential setbacks. Those items include roof overhangs, built-in planter boxes, decks and pool decks, stairs, stair landings, and ramps. And then it also amends the standards for mechanical and utility equipment and revises the residential fencing standards to allow decorative columns in the front yard, and clarifies that the height is measured from the grade of the subject property. So that is the ordinance, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Do we have any public speakers?
No.
Okay, so basically the changes that we're making in the past, a builder or a homeowner needed to get variances for.
That's correct.
And could you just clarify why we're doing this?
We're clarifying this because right now these items aren't regulated in the zoning code, and that has led to inconsistent applications for encroachments into setbacks throughout time. In the past few years, we've taken a stricter stance about encroachments into setbacks because we didn't have this language in the code. And so, but there is a need for this. So the goal of this ordinance is to have consistent and fair regulations that will be applied throughout the city for single-family homes.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions from the commission? Take a motion, please.
Motion.
No, I have a few comments, okay? So we are regulating now planters, pool decks, fences, etc. With the setback is necessary for what you explained before, but the rest, it seems like over-regulation. Can you clarify which area this is gonna be affect here in Sunny Isles?
Sure. So this is for the R1 and RTH zoning districts. The only one that applies citywide is the utility and mechanical
Correct.
equipment.
So this one will be basically for Golden Shores and Atlantic Isle.
And Golden Gate.
In Golden Gate, correct.
Yes.
So in Golden Shores and Atlantic Isle, especially Golden Shores, they don't have a HOA or a condo. So one of the reasons that I know particular people that live there is because of that freedom and flexibility when they're building or doing remodelations in their houses. Now we are, like I say, we are even regulating the planters. So I think this is a little bit too much. It's over-regulating. It takes that flexibility, and I understand the inconsistencies. However, all projects, they come to our building department, and they have to be reviewed by everyone, including you, and that's when we can work those inconsistencies. So I'm not in favor of big government or over-regulating, so I will not be in favor of this ordinance.
Amy, for clarification, in the past, some of these items like the eyebrows and the overhangs, those were not allowed, and now we are allowing them, correct?
Correct. Staff's position is this is actually more permissible
Right, that's what I wanted to get clarification on.
because you've seen a few variances for single-family homes, most recently for the roof overhangs and eyebrows. So this, instead of requiring the variance, they can do it by right through the permitting process.
So this makes it more permissible,
Mhm.
not more restrictive. Okay.
Correct.
That is specific case, but not for fences. Now you have a specific set of fences, height, etc. For planters, for pool decks, for ramps, for stairs, for utility and mechanical equipment, of course for the setbacks. So yeah, there is a lot in there.
Okay. We had a motion from Commissioner Joseph. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mauricio?
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lamo,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
No.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes 4-1. Second reading will be scheduled for September.
Okay, next item, please.
6C is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, creating Article 7 in Chapter 256 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, entitled Speed Detection Systems in School Zones, to authorize the placement, installation, and operation of speed detection systems on roadways maintained as school zones, to establish traffic enforcement procedures when speed detection systems are utilized, and to create hearing procedures relating to school zone speed limit violations, providing for implementation, providing for repealer, providing for servability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Okay. Your city manager, please go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this ordinance is recommended by the police department. It establishes speed zone detection systems in our school safety zone.
Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions or comments from the commission? Take a motion then?
I just wanted to
Go ahead,
comment.
Commissioner Scar.
Okay. As we are looking for the possible vendors and contracts, I really like the way that that we ended up with the red light cameras, how the first year was basically like risk-free, and that they would cover the expenses, and it was they made it very easy for us to see if it was worth the investment. You know, so I would, if that's possible, if that's something we can keep in mind for this round of negotiations, I would encourage that.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading 5-0.
Okay, next item, please.
6D is a ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Section 14-1 entitled Definitions, amending 14-3 entitled Qualifications of Special Magistrates, Appointment and Removal, and Compensation, amending 14-4 entitled Powers of Special Magistrate, amending 14-6 entitled Enforcement Procedures, amending 14-7 entitled Contents and Service of Civil Violation Notice, amending 14-8 entitled Civil Penalties, Continued and Repeat Violations, amending 14-9 entitled Rights of Violators, Payment of Fine, Right to Appeal, Failure to Pay Incorrect or Appeal, amending 14-10 entitled Scheduling and Conduct of Hearing, amending 14-11 entitled Appeal of Order of Special Magistrate, amending 14-13 entitled Recovery of Unpaid Civil Penalties, Unpaid Penalties to Constitute a Lien, Foreclosure, amending 14-16 entitled Schedule of Civil Penalties and Miscellaneous Fees, amending 14-7 entitled Abatement by the City, Recovery of Costs and Expenses and Liens, creating 14-18 entitled Settlement Procedures to establish standard procedures for the reduction of fines, liens, and penalties, amending Attachment 1 of Chapter 14 entitled Civil Penalties and Miscellaneous Fee Schedules to conform civil penalties with Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Commission, this represents a complete revamp of our code enforcement section of the code, Chapter 14. So we have updated it in compliance with Florida statutes. We've also established the rates of pay for a special magistrate, as well as provided for extensions of time for code cases, settlements of liens, and mitigation.
Okay. Can you just briefly explain why we did this? Or what is this in response to, rather?
We had an outdated list and schedule of fines and penalties that were not in compliance with Florida statutes. So there were various penalty amounts, and we are limited by state statute for $250 and $500, depending upon the violation. We also updated our payment schedule for special magistrates. And then in the past, this code section limited the manager's ability to provide for extensions, so that a lot of our residents had to go to the magistrate for extensions for periods of time. With the revision now, it allows a little more flexibility for the code manager to work with people, especially if they're limited, for example, having to go to state agencies or DERM or those kinds of things.
Thank you. Do we have public speakers?
No.
Any comments from the commission?
I do have a question.
Please, go ahead.
City Attorney, in section 14.3, paragraph C.
What page is that?
Mine says page 3 of 57.
77 of the book.
Yes, I'm there.
So it says, special magistrates shall not be current or former city employees or elected officials and shall be compensated, etc. So I understand current or former city employees, but elected officials, current elected officials can't be magistrates anyway.
Correct.
So are we saying that we don't want any former Sunny Isles Beach commissioners to be magistrates, or any if a former elected official from Bal Harbor can't come in here if they're an attorney and be a special magistrate?
It's a good question. We would need to confer with Mr. Davila to see what the true intent was, or with the city manager in that regard.
Okay.
So we could make it clear if it, in fact, it includes former elected officials, then we could probably make that a little clearer.
I think it's silly to exclude all former elected officials from anywhere. It doesn't even specify, what if it's, you know, somebody who now lives here and practices here, but was once an elected official in North Dakota? You know what I'm saying? I
If
feel
that's
like,
the direction of the, again, that may have been the original intent, as you say, it's just not stated correctly. So if that's the intent of the commission, we can fix it. between
Commissioner
first and
Vizcarra,
second reading.
how would you like it to be worded?
I think it should, okay. Special manager shall not be current former employees. I think, well, if you put current elected officials, that's already the law.
Unless it's a current
It may-
elected
it may
official in a
actually-
different
It
city.
doesn't matter. It's dual office holding.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Technically, I think if you add a comma before or, I think that takes care of your concern.
Let me see. Special manager shall not be current city employees, comma, or elected officials.
The former would only modify the previous with the comma. It wouldn't modify elected officials. If that's clear enough for you. But
I don't think we should eliminate former elected officials.
and I don't know
think
that
the law-
that,
and the law already excludes current elected officials.
right, and I don't know that that was the intent at all. They just
So
may be that missing
I
comma.
would get rid of it. That would be my edit.
Okay.
I don't want to exclude, you would want lawyers who have experience in municipalities making decisions in our municipality, you know?
Are there any objections from the commission for the change? No? Okay. Was that it?
That's it.
All
That's
right, do
my
you want to
only-
make a motion?
As amended.
Do we need to have the exact language or no?
Well, you
I
just,
think-
Just take
yeah,
that word out.
just
Because
delete it.
you're, it's coming for second reading, so you'll have the exact language at
Okay,
second reading.
so as amended.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mauricio?
Vice Mayor Lamo,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Vizcarra,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Mayor Svetchin.
Yes.
The ordinance passes 5-0 on first reading,
Next item?
As amended.
as amended. 6E is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2024-618, approving budget amendment number BA 2425-06 to the city's operating and capital improvement budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this budget amendment allows for some transfers from the police department to the Ocean Rescue Department for the purchase of ocean rescue vehicles. Also allows for the creation of 2 ocean rescue supervisor position, transfer some money from code compliance to parking for the purchase of a vehicle, and lastly, allocate some funds for the public works, steel building, and storage shed.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments or questions from the commission? Take a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Mauricio?
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Vizcarra,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Mayor Svetchin.
Yes.
The ordinance passes 5-0 on first reading.
Next item?
We're on to ordinances for second reading. 8A is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending the infrastructure and capital improvements element of the adopted City of Sunny Isles Beach Comprehensive Plan to clarify the level of service standards.
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is an amendment to the comprehensive plan infrastructure element and capital improvements element to update the level of service standards for potable water and sanitary sewer. Those are 2 services that are provided by outside agencies, which is North Miami Beach and the county. And so this amendment will bring our level of service standards up to date with their current level of service standards. This passed on first reading in June, and it was transmitted to the state and to all reviewing agencies, and the city did not receive any comment or objection to this amendment.
Okay. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Are there questions or comments from the commission?
No?
Take a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mauricio?
Commissioner Vizcarra,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Mayor Svetchin.
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, next item, please.
8B is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending the Land Development Regulations, Section 265-11, Procedures of General Applicability, and providing for a new Article 6, Adequacy of Facilities and Concurrency, to establish concurrency procedures and requirements.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is an ordinance to our land development regulations to establish our concurrency program. Concurrency is regulated by a lot of outside agencies, but this will establish the level of service standards for roads, sanitary sewer, potable water, drainage, solid waste, recreation, and schools. This establishes the level of service standards as well as the process and procedure for concurrency, and it will require concurrency determination at time of development order, development permit. So I'm available if you have any questions.
Mauricio, any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, are there any questions from the commission?
No.
Take a motion, please.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, next item, please.
8C is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 265, Article 2, Section 265-5, entitled Definitions, to revise the definition of the term child daycare facilities, amending Article 7, entitled Zoning Districts, to incorporate child daycare facility as a permitted use in the Recreations and Open Space zoning district in Section 265-30, and in the Community Facilities zoning district in 265-29, and as a conditional use in the medium-high density residential zoning district in 265-34, the Neighborhood Business District in 265-36, the Town Center District in 265-37, and the Business Overlay Zoning District in 265-38, and amending 265-44, entitled Specific Use Regulations, to incorporate the physical standards for child care facilities consistent with Miami-Dade County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 33, Article XA.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is second reading of our child daycare ordinance, and as stated in the title, it does amend the definition of child daycare facilities to be consistent with state statute, and it establishes child daycare facilities as a permitted use in our recreation and open space category and our community facility zoning district. Child daycare facilities will be a conditional use, which requires commission approval in the RMF2, B1, TCD, and BO zoning districts. And finally, the ordinance incorporates the Miami-Dade County physical standards for child daycare facilities. I'm
Okay.
available if you have questions.
Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Are there questions from the commission?
No question.
I'll take a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion. Second.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, next item, please.
8D is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, amending sections 256-6 definitions, 256-9 issuance and renewal of permits application, 256-10 revocation of permits, 256-11 exclusion of certain vehicles, 256-12 enforcement collection of fees, 256-15 terms of permits, transfer of Chapter 256, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is second reading of the ordinance that cleans up our parking section of the code. It provides for clarification on some definitions and allows for city ID, city resident ID to be used for our parking verification.
Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission?
At the agenda review, I had questioned whether this pertained or how we were proceeding regarding 174th Street. There was a question from residents that I had received regarding parking permits or the ability to have license plates red in order to make it easier for residents to park.
Yes, please, go ahead.
We're working on that now. Yes, working on incorporating that to make it easier.
Thank you.
Yes.
Would you like to make a motion?
I will make a motion.
Need a second? Mauricio?
Commissioner Stuyvesant? Commissioner Viscara?
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama?
Yes.
Mayor Svechin?
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Right, now we're on to resolutions. Just want to, since we have more people in the audience, just a friendly reminder, if you'd like to speak, the cards are in the back, and if you change your mind, you can just say you changed your mind, but once the item is called, then you will not be able to speak. Once we start discussion, rather. Go ahead, Mauricio.
9A is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of 2 vehicles from Bartow Ford for the police department.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this allows for the expenditure of budgeted funds to purchase 2 vehicles for our police department.
Okay, do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission?
I would
Go ahead.
just like to make a note for the city manager that on these Ford vehicles, there had been a software upgrade regarding the backup cameras. Please make sure that we get that software upgrade.
Great, thank you. All right, I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item, please.
9B is a resolution waiving the bidding requirements of Chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinances, approving an agreement with Vetted Holdings doing business as Vetted Security Solutions to provide maintenance and as-needed repairs to the city's security camera hardware and software.
Okay, Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is the company that's going to provide maintenance and give us some 1-year warranty for our license plate readers throughout the city.
Great. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, comments or questions from the commission?
No.
I'll take a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, please.
9C is a resolution waiving the bidding requirements set forth in Chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinances, approving an agreement with Pipeline Plumbing Services of Broward to purchase and install 3 shower towers at Sampson Oceanfront Park.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is something that you've asked us about for a while. This allows for the purchase and installation of 3 showers at Sampson Oceanfront Park.
Just, can you clarify when that will start once this is approved?
Delivery takes 4 to 6 weeks and 5 to 7 business days for installation. So no later than October 13th if approved tonight.
Mauricio, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, any comments or questions from the commission? Go ahead, Commissioner
I would just
Joseph.
like to say, for several years, I've been pushing for correction of these shower heads, and I'm glad to see that finally the residents are going to have working showers that are placed correctly in order they don't have to wedge themselves up against the wall. So I'm glad to see that happening.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I've been pushing for this for like 10 years now, so I appreciate that this is getting done. Thank you.
Commissioner Viscar, did you want to say something?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Stuyvesant? Okay. I've been pushing for this for 30 years. So. I need a motion, please.
Motion.
I need a second. Vice Mayor, you want a second?
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next item, please.
9D is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the project agreement with Keith and Associates for civil engineering and landscape architectural services for the Bella Vista Park.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is for additional landscape and architectural services for Bella Vista Park that's been required by the Water and Sewer Department.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments from the commission?
No.
Take a motion, please.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item, please.
9F is a resolution,
9E.
9E, excuse me.
Yeah.
Nine E is a resolution authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Team Contracting for emergency repairs to the storm drain located at 177th Drive.
City Manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, we were made aware of an issue with drainage at this location, and we had to go in and do some emergency work in order to correct it, not draining properly.
It's not a safety issue right now, correct?
Right now, it is not, correct.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission? Go
I
ahead.
would just like to say that it was my understanding that this storm drain had totally collapsed and was detached, and that was the cause for major flooding on 177th Drive. Hopefully, when it's corrected, which will be shortly, it'll alleviate some of the flooding problems that we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Vice Mayor, did you want to say something?
No.
You want to make a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item.
9F is a resolution declaring a zoning in progress relating to the mixed-use resort district, town center district, neighborhood business district, and business overlay districts, determining that applications for development orders and development permits shall be subject to the zoning in progress.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This resolution will declare a zoning in progress for the four districts just stated: mixed-use resort, town center, neighborhood business, and business overlay districts. I'm available if you have any questions.
Do we have any public speakers?
We do.
Okay.
Arthur Gallagher.
Good evening. I am not Arthur Gallagher. I'm Tracy Slavens. I also filed a card, but he yielded his time to me.
He can't yield his time, but he
Or moved
So,
my spot.
Okay.
Tracy Slate. Okay.
Yes, thank you. I'm here on behalf of the Desert entities. We have an application currently under review in the MUR district. And as you heard earlier for the first reading of the comprehensive plan amendment, the changes being proposed by the comprehensive plan amendment don't affect the ultimate developability of a property. The density and intensity are staying the same. So we would ask you to remove the MUR district from this zoning in progress resolution, allowing the project to move forward and being heard by this commission in order to, promote the economic development and allow this one of the last few parcels on Collins Avenue on the east side to be developed. The proposal that we have under review complies with the code, and we understand that the structure of the bonuses may be changing, which we would agree to comply with at whatever time that happens. But allowing the project to move forward when the land development regulations are not changing and there's no actual ordinance being considered at this time for a change to the land development regulations, it would be appropriate to remove the MUR. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Arthur Gallagher. Eric Forden.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
One second. I want to make sure your time is reset.
Thank you. I'll try not to take up the 3 minutes. Eric Forden, having residences at 2050 Tiger Tail Avenue. Just like Tracy had mentioned for us, we've purchased this property. We were supposed to close on it almost 18 months ago. We delayed it because of the zoning in progress. We've now since closed on it. We have a loan. It's costing us millions of dollars. At this point, we really need to start getting this process moved forward. We're fine with proffering whatever the city would like us to proffer in regards to the payments regarding the bonuses if it gets adjusted or doesn't get adjusted. But we need our site plan application that we have working with Amy and her team, which has been great, to proceed to come before you in the near future. We really hope that you'll lift the zoning in progress on the mixed-use resort district. Thank you.
No further speakers.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Stewardson?
Yeah, I have questions. So we had a zoning in progress for almost 2 years, and we wanted to address inconsistencies between the comp plan and the land development regulations. So I believe that's exactly what we are today voting on. We voted already to address those inconsistencies. So I have 2 questions. Number one is what unresolved issues do we still have that we need to extend the zoning in progress?
Mr. City Manager?
Let me call Amy to answer that, please.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, Commissioner. The direction that we've received from the commission is to evaluate the bonus programs. We had a workshop in February of this past year to specifically talk about the bonus programs in the mixed-use resort district. And the direction that was given by the commission at that point was to bring the comprehensive plan to be consistent with the land development regulations and further analyze the bonus program, which lives in the zoning code. And that's why this zoning in progress is in place. The direction at that workshop was to analyze the payment type of development bonuses to make sure that the methodology and the pricing structure is defensible and sound, and then as well as add additional bonuses that could be available for physical improvements. And so those are still a work in progress. And so that's why we have the zoning in progress in place, so that way we can bring an ordinance forward to you soon that will address those bonus programs in the mixed-use resort district.
Yeah, which is still to my point. We had this zoning progress for almost 2 years now. And with the changes that we did today, the ordinance, we clarify the maximums allowances, including bonuses, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we had the maximums as it is right now. So why do we need to continue a zoning in progress? We've been working on this for almost 2 years. Now you are requesting 3 more months. What is it that we are looking to be able to get to in those 3 months?
We haven't had the opportunity to bring forward an ordinance regarding the development bonus program in the mixed-use resort district in the zoning code. So until we bring that forward to commission, which is the direction that we received at the February workshop, we would like the zoning in progress to be in place. So that way all projects will be analyzed consistently with the new regulations.
I understand. It seems redundant to continue having it. It will be over 2 years now, so I'm not in favor of this.
Are there any other questions? Amy, I have a question, actually.
Can I clarify one issue?
Please, go ahead. Probably you're the one I needed to ask.
I think we're conflating a couple issues. So based on what Tracy indicated, there's a desire to move forward with the project. So your zoning in progress is essentially a declaration that it's a vehicle for a notice. You're basically giving developers and you're giving the public a notice that you're in the process of changing your code. That's all it is. Even if you remove MUR from it this evening, you still have a zoning in progress in place. Because unless you say we're not changing it any further and we put a full stop to it, you still have a zoning in progress. This is just a vehicle for notice. So what you'd be doing essentially is, we're still changing our code, but we're not going to tell anybody. To the extent, though, that a project wants to go forward, that's on a hold because of a zoning in progress, but that's on a case-by-case basis. So to the extent, as Ms. Lavins indicated, if they're complying with the more restrictive, what the anticipated more restrictive code that's coming, including bonuses and so on and so forth, on a case-by-case basis, the city can decide to move that project forward without affecting the zoning in progress. Because regardless of what you do with this tonight, you still have, unless again you say, stop, we're not doing any more changes to the to the LDRs as planned, you still have a zoning in progress. You're just compromising the city's ability to give notice of that for any future applicant during that process.
And why does that matter?
It matters because a property owner can come now, or a developer can come in and without proper notice, invest significant amounts of money based on the existing code without being told there's a change upcoming. There's, for the lack of a better term, detrimental reliance, and then you have an equitable estoppel issue. So in order for the city to defend itself from an equitable estoppel challenge, you want to have proper notice to those developers and to those property owners and to the public that you are in fact intending on changing your code. So one, although they're related, one is different. You can still have a project go forward and lift a hold based on circumstances. Sometimes it can be timing. Sometimes it can be just the fact, as Ms. Lavins indicated, that they are willing to and are able to with their project to comply with the more restrictive or the different changes that are upcoming, then you can independently allow that project to go forward and still have your zoning in progress.
So in effect, this does not at all stop them from continuing their project if they agree to what we have already proposed.
Thus far, I mean, that's a separate discussion. It's actually a separate issue because the resolution before you is basically just approving a vehicle of notice. Whether you allow this project to go forward or not, that's a separate discussion to have with planning and zoning under the circumstances. From a timing standpoint, I don't have specificity, but I think they're getting very close to that point where they're ready to pull the trigger and come before you with regard to their development. So that may be, again, where the city no longer has a legitimate hold to have on there because they are going to comply with the anticipated changes. Separate inquiry, separate determination than from your actual zoning in progress. Because again, if you remove MUR from your resolution tonight, all you're doing is compromising your ability to provide notice. It doesn't change the fact that it's zoning in progress because you are going to make those changes.
All right, so again, for clarification, the comment made by one of the speakers about they've been working on this for 18 months, what we're doing does not stop or slow them down, or it does?
Well, I can't speak for them. Obviously, they've represented that it does. But again, if they're here tonight to say we need to move this project along because whatever changes you're anticipating or planning on, we're complying with or able to comply with, that's a different inquiry. That's something that we can work with planning and zoning and city management as well before it comes to you to move the project along. But that's on a case-by-case basis. It really doesn't change the fact that you're still providing notice of a zoning in progress for anyone else because it's not just for one developer or two developers, it's for everyone. So you don't want to compromise your ability to give that notice to someone that walks in the door tomorrow with an application. You want to be able to tell them, hey, we are planning on making these changes. Different inquiry than if they're ready to go and they're able to comply with the anticipated changes. That's a different inquiry and they could possibly move forward even though you have a zoning in progress.
So anyone that has a site plan, let's say for any one of these areas, can still come in and request for us to review their plans and we could still approve it,
You
or
can
no?
always review the plans. What the hold is typically on the building permits, the development orders, things of that sort. Their situation is a little different because they're far into the game. Their application came in a while ago. If somebody comes in tomorrow, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's on a case-by-case basis because it depends where they are progressed, what the changes are. And again, to Ms. Canala's point and to Ms. Slavin's point as well, the changes that are going to be made on the east are relatively, I don't want to say minor, but they're not so significant with regards to density and intensity that should impact, again, as they stated, should impact them moving forward. So that's something that's a different inquiry that can be had with city management and planning and zoning. But it really doesn't affect your ability or what you should still do because you are doing it, provide notice that you are planning on amending your code.
Okay.
And just as a clarification also, the planning, the zoning in progress does not apply to the comprehensive plan. It only applies to your land development regulation.
Are there other questions to the commission?
I have some questions. So the application hasn't come before us, so I'm just trying to understand where we stand right now with that application. I don't know if, Amy, you've sent back some of your comments to the applicant. Obviously, with this zone in progress, we're requesting 3 more months, but you know, right now, let's say next month we review this application and we approve it or not approve it, whatever it is. I'm just trying to understand the timelines right now and how far along this application is, or, you know, all I've seen is what I requested from you in June, and I just saw
And
the
Amy can answer
renderings.
that question, but I just want to caution to be careful that we can't get too much into specifics on the actual project because that's supposed to be discussed in a quasi-judicial setting in a separate type of hearing. But to the extent, very generally, I guess we can answer that.
Yeah, I just want to understand timelines and where we stand today with that project.
Sure. So the application was submitted and we've completed one full round of review for city comments, and the applicant has submitted corrections and responses to those comments, and now we are reviewing that in the middle. That's where we stand.
So would that process normally take about 3 months?
No, it does not take 3 months.
How long would it take?
A few weeks.
A few weeks. So if that happened, again, just correct me, Mr. Attorney, if I go over, they can still submit their application for us to review.
Well, it's been submitted already to the department.
Once the
at some point.
comments
Once
are
it's ready, right? So some determination has to be made by planning and zoning and by management that, okay, we're going to allow this to come to the city commission because it's in a posture that, again, for the reasons stated before, they're going to comply with whatever anticipated changes are
Closer to
upcoming,
it.
and so on and so forth. Once that decision is made, then it's prime to come before you, and at that point, it's ready to be approved or disapproved or approved with modifications.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, please.
I can offer to meet with the staff and city attorney after to speak to some of the points that you brought up today.
Okay.
I still have a question because our city attorney is talking about the anticipated changes. So we know the changes already. So how we know they're complying if the changes hasn't come to us yet?
Because when you're talking about, it's like for bonus, one, they're representing, and that's something that can be done with, also, I spoke to one of their attorneys this morning, Mr. Hevia, where to the extent that, so let's say we're anticipating potential tweaking of some of the rates for the TDRs or so on and so forth, they're saying they're willing to comply with those regardless of what they may be. I mean, obviously, they can only be so many changes. That would have to be, in my recommendation, be represented in a development agreement. So it's at least in writing that they're willing to do that. But again, different scenario, it's on a case-by-case basis. For this particular project, you're dealing with bonuses, you're dealing really with dollars and cents and things of that sort, maybe a little wider sidewalk here in case, instead of just, a monetary contribution, that type of thing, they're pretty minor. You're talking about a development possibly on the west side, where there may be some more intense possible changes, then that would be a different story. That's why you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. So my whole point is that two different inquiries, regardless of what you do with this tonight, unless tonight the city commission says we're no longer making any changes, you still have a zoning in progress regardless of what you do. You're just compromising your ability to provide notice of that. But independent of that, as the city manager spoke, we can meet with everyone and get to a point where if this project needs to move forward based on representations made, there may be an opportunity to do that based on just the posture of where the application actually is, because they are far along in the process.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Well,
I would like to say something.
Let Commissioner Viscar go and then you'll.
So I'm sympathetic to the fact that they're far along in the process, and I like that you're saying that there's still a door there, like an open, like a possibility to still progress. But I don't want to give up. We put in a lot of work into, little by little. It's been like the comprehensive plan and the code, and maybe we saw even in other things in the agenda today that we're really, over the past couple of years, made a real effort to clean up our documents. So I don't want to compromise that. But I think as long as conversations can be had, because I think it's fair that they at least have that opportunity to comply once it's clear what those elements might be with which they're going to comply if they choose to, right? Because I'm sure this is not a as of right and that's it. Right? Obviously, we're talking about the bonuses, and I want to make sure that if it's going to move forward, which I'm open to, obviously the devil's in the details, right? But that we're talking about the meaningful bonuses too, because that's the whole purpose of our exercise. So, like you mentioned, the wider sidewalk is a minor thing, but to a pedestrian, that's important. And if we're committed to, improving to the extent that we can, maybe not a complete stop. Maybe we can leave that door open but we need to keep going down the path that we're going and correcting what we can. So I like that opportunity still exists.
Commissioner Joseph?
Yeah, so I'm looking for, to wait for our new code to be codified, but I understand with loans and the need to move forward that holdups can be costly. And I would say as long as we were able to have something in writing that the developer understands, that they would abide by our most restrictive code as it ends up, then I would be fine with that, to allow
Okay.
them to move forward.
Vice Mayor?
Well, I mean, from what I understand, we're, for the mixed-use resort, we're not really changing anything at this point. We're just clarifying the
Bonuses.
maximums, let's say.
Well, you may be, and that's, again, the only issue tonight is the resolution before you, not so much what we're going to do
Okay,
or agree
yeah,
with the
understood.
project.
Yeah.
But, and that's something unfortunately has to be in a different type of meeting, in a different type of posture.
Understand, yeah.
But, yes, we would need some sort of dialogue with the developer to see what those anticipated changes may be and what they're willing to do. We haven't spoken in that kind of specificity, but that's a different conversation to have. And that's not something that's going to be determined this evening, because again, the only thing before you is that
The
vehicle for
extension of
notice, right?
yeah.
Well,
Okay, Commissioner Stuyvesant?
yeah, a little bit to my point. We just solved the maximum allowances. We did that today. So what was my first question? What are the unresolved issues that we still have? And another question is that we don't need to pass this zoning in progress today. You guys had 18 months. It can come next month or the next one or in January, and you can continue doing the work that you are doing. So 18 months of this type of restriction is too much. And I would like to know specifically what are the issues that still not being solved today with the comp plan and land development regulation thing that we did today. So that'll be specific. I want to know what is it that is not solved yet.
Well, that is what that part of that's going to be determined by you when that proposed ordinance is going to, because you're going to make those decisions. Staff isn't. So that's why this takes a while, because now that we fix the comp plan, or we're in the process of fixing the comp plan, now we got to come back and tweak the LDRs by your direction. But we're not changing that, you are. So that has to be presented to you.
Okay, so in effect, regardless of how we vote on this, we still have a zoning in progress.
Absolutely. And again, the only compromise, the only reason I suggest that you do pass it is because you're compromising the city's ability to provide notice in that regard.
And Mr. City Manager, do we have an expectation or an anticipated time when we'll have that ordinance? Can it be ready for next month? I see you shaking, no.
We have a
Not
meeting.
next month.
Okay. All right. If there are not any more questions,
This is government, remember?
pardon?
This is government.
Okay. I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
So moved. Second.
Second. Mauricio?
We just voice vote, or unless you want a roll call? Okay. Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
No.
Commissioner Viscaro,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lamo,
Yes.
Mayor Sfetchen.
Yes.
The resolution passes 4-1.
Thank you. Next item.
9G is a resolution waiving the bidding requirements set forth in Chapter 62 of the City's Code of Ordinances, approving an agreement with Complete Cities Planning Group to provide planning services related to amendments to the city's comprehensive plan and land development regulations.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is a project-specific agreement with Complete Cities Planning Group, LLC, and I just want to provide a little bit of history and context for this agreement first. In 2022, the city contracted with SEPI Engineering to provide general planning services, and that was a piggyback contract from Oakland Park. In 2024, SEPI was purchased by Trans Systems, and so the contract was assigned and transferred to Trans Systems. That contract expires in less than 2 months on October 16th, and it has no renewals available. The two principals that we have been working with since the beginning of this contract in 2022 has been Jeff Katims and Caitlin Forbes, and they have created their own company, Complete Cities Planning Group. They have been operating as a subconsultant to Trans Systems when the transfer happened with SEPI, and they created their own company. But we've been working with those two individuals this entire time. So this agreement will contract directly with Complete Cities Planning Group, and again, it's project specific. Importantly, they are honoring the rates that were established in the original 2022 contract, so there is no increase to project cost from the previous contract. The proposed term is for 2 years with a not to exceed amount of $148,576, which has been fully budgeted in this current fiscal year. Contracting directly with them ensures that the project continuity will continue for the correcting the inconsistencies between the comp plan and code, which we have discussed quite a bit this evening. It avoids project delays and minimizes project cost increases. They are committing to completing phase 1 of the project, which is presenting the Town Center North Vision document to you, hopefully next month, as well as starting phase 2, which would be the analysis of the development bonus program and establishing the Town Center North comp plan policies and code. I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you. Do we have public speakers? All right. Any questions from the commission?
No.
Take a motion, please.
So moved.
I'll make a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item.
9H is a resolution approving a lease agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and the Miami-Dade County Public Library System for continued operation of a public library facility within the city's government center.
City manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is an agreement with the library to continue services at essentially the same rates. It's a 5-year term with 3 5-year options.
Great. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right. Any comments or questions from the commission? Go ahead, Commissioner Joseph.
I would just like to say that the space that the library is using could have been used for the city. We could have moved our building department into the library and had Tony Romer's for a city restaurant as it had been. I'm not happy with that entire situation, how it unfolded. The county could have found another place for the library within our city limits, and everyone would have been happy.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I don't see where the county would have put the library at the beginning of the city when it was agreed upon, and the city wanted a library to be part of government center. There's not another place in government center where you could put the library. But it's time to, I like that it's now 5 years because we have some changes that, may happen that perhaps may open our options for the library somewhere else once we actually have a space for it. So, but no, I think this is good.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Well, I have a comment. I'll be okay with the term to be 1 year. We are going to be rebuilding Pelican Park. We have a big space there. Also, I agree with Commissioner Joseph. Tony Romas is a perfect place to put the library. Look, the windows that we can have, the cafe that we have in there could be just like a Barnes & Noble or something even better. So I will actually make a motion for making the term 1 year and give us the time to renovate that space instead of 5 years.
I think my motion is.
Your
Well,
motion's
I
on
never
the
had
table.
the
You don't have
opportunity.
a second yet, so,
Well, I never had the chance to make my
no,
comments before.
I understand that.
No.
Okay, does anyone want a second?
Second.
Which
What
one
do
are
we,
you
what,
seconding?
what do we?
No, this is, yeah.
Exactly.
There's 2 items that's sitting on the table right
so
now.
we'll start, we'll start with Commissioner Viscar's motion then, because she made it first.
Which is the item
Which is
itself.
the
correct?
item as stated.
Yes.
As stated. Okay, I need a second for that.
Which one?
The
Mine.
first one,
First.
as
Second.
written. Second, okay. Mauricio, just so that we have clarity, please.
Commissioner Joseph,
No.
Commissioner Stuyvesant. Commissioner Viscara.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama.
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
Resolution passes 3-2.
Okay. 9H, please.
9I.
Oh, I, sorry.
Mayor, we're going to combine 9I and 9J
Okay.
Actually, they need to be voted on separately.
separately.
Yes.
9I is a resolution approving a purchase and sale agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and 19142 Collins Avenue, SIB LLC, for the purchase and sale of real property located at 19142 Collins Avenue.
Just stop you for a moment. In case anybody wanted to fill out a public speaker card, this is your opportunity. Go ahead, Mr. Manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, there's two items, and I understand you're voting on them independently. Both of these items will expand the footprint of the Golden Shores Park. So we've had past discussions, and you have agreed and directed that we've purchased properties to preserve open space. So anytime that I have an opportunity to enter into a negotiation for a property that would potentially preserve open space, I'm bringing that to you for your approval. So we have a graphic, but provided that both of these are approved, it would double the footprint of the current park. So one of the items is for the house and structure at the west end of Golden Shores Park, and the other item is the vacant property that is on the south end of the park. So in terms of whatever we would do with that for the future would be decided by this commission at your direction. It could be open space, it could be anything that you wanted it to within that park allowances. If we don't purchase it, then the potential is for them to be developed into townhomes on the one side, and you would still have a structure on the other side.
Okay. Mauricio, do we have public speakers?
We do.
Okay.
Jody Joseph.
Hi, Jody Joseph, 18560
Speak up,
North
please.
Bay Road, Golden Shores. Stan, you really jumped on that really quickly, and it's interesting that you're concerned about a residential area, not building a townhome, with all the beautiful construction in Sunny Isles Beach. And what I'm really concerned over is, I don't know, someone put out a map like just a few minutes ago today, and it was put out on the Golden Shores WhatsApp. And I have to tell you, there was utter turmoil, and I don't think we should go for this because it's not fair to the residents. They don't have an understanding as to what's going on. We're looking at least $4 million to start, and the city is notorious for hiring consultants and more consultants, and this is going to be millions of dollars. But my concern is on the group chat, which you're on the group chat and your husband, someone put out, well, we could have a gym, and everybody went crazy. Wonderful, and then we can build a gate, which we know we cannot build a gate. We've had these conversations for years. They have no understanding of what they're paying for, being the residents. And then they said, what's even better is, and we said, well, there's no parking, which we spoke about last year regarding parking, and a lot of people turned it down because they said there's no parking, and what's going to happen is we're going to have people parking on people's lawns, like the meeting today at the workshop. We have a big enough issue with the trucks and the transport trucks. Golden Shores can't be the, pardon me, trash can for everything. We were talking about the boats on the water, the transport trucks, and these people actually thought in our neighborhood that we're going to give them a card, and we can't allow anybody else to come in except Golden Shores residents, which, again, I feel bad because they don't understand that's not going to happen because we don't have an HOA, and the city of Sunny Isles is going to be paying for whatever they're hoping to get on this property. And we know as long as the city pays for it, which is the case, we cannot keep anyone from entering, correct, Alan? We can't keep anyone from coming in as long as they're a Sunny Isles Beach resident. So, and also, We've done so many things in the neighborhood that sadly never come to fruition. So we're going to pay out all this money that residents are paying for, and the property could just sit there, and just a few people are going to benefit from this who live maybe next to it or across the street. They're able to say, well, it's like backing up to a wildlife reserve, that their property is going to be wonderful because no one's going to be able to build across the street from them or next to them. But realistically speaking, when you first got into office, and Susan, you were there, we walked around the neighborhood, you recall, and it was horrible, and you said we had to do something immediately. In the parking lot, there were mats and cots, and it was a mess, and you said you had no idea that this was even like this back there in Golden Shores, and something had to be done. Well, it's been years and nothing was done, and I'm worried that's going to be the same thing with the property that we're all paying for. So I think the residents have to really understand what's going on before we jump on this. Thank you so much.
Do we have any other speakers? Okay. Do we have any comments or questions for the commission? All right, I'll take a motion.
I have a statement.
Go ahead, Commissioner Joseph, and then you can go.
So the plan that was put out on Golden Shores WhatsApp, that actually encompassed 3 properties, and we're only voting today on 2, and the plan for the tennis courts or running track would not be the same without that 3rd property. So I just want to be sure that the residents that are here tonight understand that that 3rd property is not definitely in play, and we would be paying $3.5 million for 2 properties, almost $4 million for 2 properties, and not have the use of it that you think that we might, unless that 3rd property is obtained for approximately another $4 million. So you're talking about $8 million just to start.
Okay, I'd like to.
Wait, Commissioner
comment.
Vizcarra,
Okay.
Vice Mayor, I think wanted to say something.
Okay,
No.
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a lot of disinformation or misinformation. Nobody's talking about tennis courts. Somebody called me today about a pool. Nobody's talking about anything like that. We're only talking about, so anybody who's, I don't know, I'm not part of that chat. I don't know who's putting out what, but this is a conversation about, yes, there's 3, maybe, I haven't seen what you're talking about, but as I understand it, we have the existing park, and then it's the 2 adjacent lots, right? So it is 3 lots. There is anything that in the future, whether it's right the tennis court or a dog park or a Checkers mini senior center for the residents in there, whatever it is, this is not part of that conversation. This is just about the lots, and what gets done with it is probably going to be a tortured conversation later, right? Because that's how it is with us. So I don't want to address the frustration of what it could be, because we're not there. This is just about, do we care to expand this park or not? So let's make it clear that this is not about swimming pools or basketball courts, or it's not about that. So let's manage the disinformation, please.
Vice Mayor, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this purchase or these 2 purchases, I mean, I'm just trying to see how we could add value to the community. We already have a park in place there, and if we're just purchasing those properties to have more empty land, so there's no other developments that come, whether it's a townhome or we just have another home next to the current park, to the existing park, I just don't see enough value where we're going to go out and make this purchase, I'd rather take that money and invest it in other parks and improve those parks. I mean, we already had a lot of conversations where, we're looking at improving the parks, making them more engaging, looking at really building a community center you know, with different type of amenities. So I'd rather take that money and put it in there. The current park right now in Golden Shores, I mean, I think it's already pretty big for what it is, in the sense that it's, you know, it's a quiet community, it's houses, there's not going to be any parking. Now, if you tell me you want to expand that park and you're going to build something on it, you're going to have parking that's going to be open to the rest of the community, and you have a little more aggressive plan for it, then we could discuss that. But that's not the intent of it. So in my mind, I'd rather take that money, put it into other parks and spaces, or even invest in more activities for our community. And I think that'll be a greater benefit for the city.
May I respond to that?
Commissioner Joseph was waiting, and then
Go ahead.
please, go ahead.
Okay. So I believe that there is parking underneath the causeway. So that the parking is not an issue for this particular park. My real my feeling is that for the overall finished product, which the neighborhood really deserves, is to have the 3 properties, if that was possible, which I don't know tonight if that is possible or not, because it would make it a completely different project, so that you could have a tennis court or 2 tennis courts, a running track, and still have the kid park that's there now, which actually that is a kid park. Did you know that an adult, actually male, can't actually, if you want to go and have a meditation moment, you couldn't go and sit in that park because it's a kid park?
I'm aware of that.
Yeah. So, you know, the expansion of this park for community needs is, you know, I'm absolutely interested in that. But it would have to take into account that 3rd property that I don't think we have locked in right now.
May I?
Let
Mayor?
Commissioner Viscara and go ahead, City Manager.
I just wanted to interject to your point. I have had conversations with the 3rd property owner, and they are amenable to having some discussions with the city. So there is a potential to complete the total purchase of that parcel, the entire group. And the other thing I was going to say is that many years ago, the parcel that is to the south was not, the commission at that time was not given the opportunity to make a decision on whether or not to purchase that property, but the city could have purchased it for $300,000. If we had done that then, the current value of that property is now over $2 million. So even if we did nothing with it over these past many years, you're familiar with the area, essentially quadrupled in value.
All right, thank you for that clarification. Commissioner Viscara?
So again, I feel that we're getting ahead of ourselves. We don't know, right, whether the intent is to leave it green or to have tennis courts or a running. We don't know that. I don't think we should be talking about that. We may not even be sitting here by the time that conversation comes around, right? So what it's going to be used for is not what this conversation is about. It's whether you want to acquire the land or you don't want to acquire the land. And I would remind the commission that the reason that we meet the green open space criteria for our comprehensive plan is because of the beach. We're actually kind of short on the park part of things as our population goes up, right? So we had also had conversations like, you know, about having like a sensory park, like an autism friendly park, but will that come to be? Probably, maybe, I don't know, or maybe not, but we can't go down that rabbit hole. Like, I think that area would benefit from a dog park, because a lot of people walk their dogs and they poop in the yards, and maybe we should give them a space to do it. I think if we ever develop something under the Lehman that's recreational, that could be like an entrance, that could be a nice introduction, an extension of that recreation area. But we're not there yet. but we definitely can't entertain any of it without the land. And we're not gonna grow more land anywhere else. So I think you have an opportunity here where you have two lots that are, on either side of an already existing a city property, and then we'll actually be able to continue the conversation. We can't now litigate all the possibilities. We have to position ourselves to have that conversation, right? So, I've said it before, the land doesn't become available everywhere. If you lose this opportunity, you may end up with townhomes, which may be beautiful, and yes, they'll pay taxes, and there's that benefit, but it's not going to be a park, and it's not going to be possible to be enjoyed by everyone, right? Only by whoever buys those townhomes. So I think this is a good opportunity.
Okay. Vice Mayor, and then I think we need to take a vote.
Well, I have a few comments.
Okay.
Whenever.
Oh, wait, no, actually, go
Hold
ahead.
on,
Go ahead.
let me just say something
Yeah,
brief,
sure.
yeah. So, the issue I'm having here is that we already have a park that, in my opinion, it's pretty large. It's a quiet community there. So if we buy more land and we want to develop something, I think it goes against the character of that community. It's a quiet neighborhood of homes, right? We want to build tennis courts there, everything. I think that we risk having a very active park that perhaps doesn't, coincide or, with the community there, okay? Another thing is that when we're looking at buying land that is adjacent to a park or to a government property, there, I just don't see the value. I'm taking, as a benchmark, I'm taking the property that we bought that was next to Pelican. There, I could, check mark. I could see the value there. I don't see it here because we already have, I think, a pretty sizable piece of land there. And for what the current use is, I think it's more than sufficient. Unless you have something else in mind, but I'm just not seeing it.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to keep going. No, let Commissioner Stuyvesant say what she wanted to say, and then I'm going to make a comment, and I think we need to.
I
call
have
a vote.
a lot of comments to make. Like, we had this conversation back in January. It didn't go through. Then we have it in July 17 with the same numbers, same prices, didn't go through. Okay? So we wait for almost 3 years for the Park and Recreation Master Plan. And this is not even an option in there. Also, the geniuses of the Park and Recreation Master Plan said that we have to redo Heritage Park, and now we are doing Pelican Park. So that worried me not to have the plan. What is it that we're supposed to be doing with this land? Back in October in 2024, we spent, that I voted against, $220,000 to provide civil engineering and landscape services for the redevelopment of the playground at Town Center Park. $220,000 only for a consultant tell us what is it that we are supposed to do with the playground in Town Center Park. We have nothing yet. And back then when we had that conversation, which I pressured a lot, they told me that we didn't give any scope to this architect, meaning that they can come and say, oh, we should have a pool in there, a mini golf, or whatever it is. We hired an architect, and we didn't give any direction. It's like hiring an architect to make a house, and you don't tell them how many bedrooms and bathrooms you need. So I do not trust that after we buy, whatever the geniuses are going to bring us is going to make any sense. I think it should be the opposite. We need to know what is it that we're buying and what are we buying it for. Also, I went and I saw the numbers. So the property that is for $2.5 million back in 2021 was purchased for $1.2 million, only like 2 years ago. And that piece of land is 10,000 square footage. The other piece of land that we got into the picture today, we got in our email, is the double of that size. So Imagine that. We're going to purchase that for over $5 million. So at the end of the day, we're going to be spending more than $10 million only for the land that we don't know what is it that we're going to be doing in the past. This can come back to us next month, and we can have a plan. But as of right now, we have to be trusting that whatever it is that they're going to bring us is going to make sense. And I do not trust that it's going to make any sense. Again, we've been waiting forever for what is it that's going to happen in Pelican. In the town center. Now they are requesting $200 million to redevelop Pelican, again, without a scope. So unless we get more information and better numbers and better prices, I'm okay for considering a good development in there, keeping the character of the neighborhood, etc. But right now we are just throwing money to the air. So no.
All right, I just want to say, and then Commissioner Joseph, I'll let you say something. One of the questions that I've often gotten from residents was, why did you sell to so-and-so that land on the beach, or why did you sell that? And I've communicated that it's all private property. We didn't sell anything. It was sold to others. Had we had an opportunity to buy it, we probably should have bought it, because then we would have more land to do as we please, and really more for future commissions, not necessarily this commission. Like to Commissioner Stevenson's point, we do have a lot to still do. So I support this only because this allows us the flexibility. And when I say us, I mean us as a city, to put whatever it is we want there, 5, 10, 15 years from now. And I think that we can all agree that mitigating any more development is a good thing. Commissioner Joseph, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so I notice in the audience we have a lot of Golden Shores people, but I don't see anyone getting up in order to speak for what you actually want.
We're not done.
So I want to ask you to please stand up now, get a piece of paper, and submit your thoughts.
Commissioner Joseph, I understand your point, but that goes against our protocol.
Okay.
And one second, I repeatedly throughout the meeting reminded everyone if they wanted to fill that, it's not, let me finish. I would love to do that, but it's not fair to other people that did not fill out a public speaking card for other items. So we have to stick with our process.
So I would like to continue my thought, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we're talking about this park, but actually the real salvation of the city is the property behind Publix, where the plan is to have 2 rental properties and a hotel right next to our school and our marina. What I believe the true plan for the city, if we had any kahunas, was to take that property by eminent domain, have a connection from Golden Shores, from the northern end of the city through to the southern end of the city, to have a waterfront park with a theater or restaurant or playhouse, or just even a park. And it would be a fight, but it would be a fight worthwhile, because it would save the city for future use and from future development. And that's where I believe we should be going.
Thank you, Commissioner Joseph. That's not what we're discussing, but I can appreciate your comments.
I have another comment.
Go ahead.
The city of Sunny Isles is 28 years old. In those 28 years, those empty lots has not been developed. So right now we are so scared because suddenly now they are going to be developed today or next month. So if we've been waiting so long for the right moment to get that piece of land, we can wait a little bit more. When there is a plan and when it makes sense, and when the money for the value that we're getting makes sense as well. But right now we are overpaying without a plan, trusting that whatever it is we're going to do in the future is going to make sense. It's too many if.
Okay, thank you. I think that we've all made ourselves clear. I take a motion. I'm going to call a vote.
So moved.
I need a second. Do I have a second?
Huh?
No? Okay. The item dies.
Item 9J is a resolution approving a purchase and sale agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and Arthur Maksumov and Christina Koryeva for the purchase and sale of the real property located at 225 191st Terrace.
All right. Do we have any public speakers for that?
We do. Jody Joseph.
Okay.
Jody Joseph, 18560 North Bay Road. I guess I'll pick up where I left off. And actually, it's just interesting now because we're worried about land. I know I was really hoping, as so many residents were, regarding the Tony Roma's property. You know, if we're worried about the residents, we could have left that for the residents and done something beautiful over there. But we hired, again, a consultant and paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a beautiful restaurant going. And unfortunately, they didn't do the right thing. We lost that contract to a restaurant in Aventura. I don't know how we pay these people, consultants, and more consultants, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's my fear that's going to happen in Golden Shores as well. And nothing is going to come to, once again, fruition at all. But so we had the Tony Roma's property. If we were worried about the residents, it was, you chose to give it to the building department. Love the building department, but, you know, the residents should have had that. And we also have a park already. What is it? The Ocean Building, the 3 buildings, where there's a huge green park. And actually, it's a path from the Golden Shores Park. You just walk underneath the bridge, and you have all this greenery. So we have plenty of greenery. And frankly, I mean, 10 months out of the year, it's 98 degrees here. We do have the spot for the kids. It is air conditioned. But I'm worried about how we're rushing into this all of a sudden because, you know, everyone's saying we're worried about the residents. My concern is when the property in back of Publix was for sale, that would have been the perfect thing to purchase. We could have had a building back there like Rabbi Kaller's Temple with the most elaborate gym, with a playhouse, and on the 3rd floor we could have had an exclusive team, whatever, restaurant overlooking the water and have something with parking. Let me put in there parking because there's no parking in Sunny Isles. And that would have been something really beautiful for the residents to have and be proud of on the water. But it was kept a secret, and somebody in the commission did not let the residents even have a chance to bid on that. And it was just, and we know everybody knew that Publix was selling that, the people involved in the commission. And sadly, you know, it went to desert because there was no one else bidding on it. So being that we're doing this now and we're kind of rushed again, and I'm just worried why we're doing this. And like I said, we had the money, we should have negotiated or at least been in the bidding to purchase that property in back of Publix, to have something spectacular, a pool, everything for residents of all ages. And we don't. And now we're looking at a marina and 3 buildings across from our little K through 8, which is absurd, but I don't understand. It was kept a secret from the residents. Who kept it a secret? Who did that back then? Who was the city manager? Because we know everyone knew that Publix was selling it, that should have known. But again, the secret was from the residents, and we lost that. So I'm worried something is going on here, that all of a sudden it's such a mad rush to purchase these lots for just more greenery. And, you know, and that's just my feelings, honestly. And to me, it's got to be what's ever best for the residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
Sheila Schreidenberg.
I'm going to be short. I live in Golden Shores.
Just your name and address for the record, please.
Sorry. Sheila Sternberg, 261 186th Street. So this will be a great idea, this park, what we're supposed to, because it's true, it's children, a park for kids, but for adults, like either do yoga or something, anything, it will be a great opportunity for to develop this for bigger, to get these properties and get park bigger. Because in Golden Shores, it's true, honestly, there is nowhere, the only thing we can go across the street to the beach, but in our community, everyone comes to walk their dogs. It's true, everyone from whole Sunny Isles, because we have a beautiful community. And I think it's for adults. It will be great if you expand a little bit this park. I think it will be great. And since I'm here already, since if you will have some money to spend, since I'm a school music teacher, we don't have anything for little kids. Somewhere, if opportunity will be in future meetings, some place to teach them and to, I asked many times to manager, I spoke to you, I wrote letters, and it didn't go anywhere. But we have this, place for teenager spot. How come we cannot use this for little kids? They don't have anything. And I have so many children would like to sing in a chorus. Why don't we have a City of Sunny Isles chorus? It will be beautiful. It's everywhere. Every city has Coral Gables, everyone. And we have beautiful, talented kids, all kind of Russian, Ukrainian, South American, but they have beautiful voices. I work in school. But we don't have place, and just place. They gave me a place in Pelican, but it was through the, I just want to, since I'm here, clarify. Yes, I was teaching there, but you know what condition I was teaching there? I was teaching in a room divided with an after-school program.
I don't want to
with a big
interrupt you,
noise.
but you have to stay on the topic that we're discussing,
Okay, so
please.
topic is that we would like to have this park. I just want to get everything in 48 seconds.
You'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting to speak about whatever you want.
Okay, so yes, park will be great, and I'm talking from all people from Golden Shores. We would love to have the park for adults, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public speakers?
Alan Call.
Alan Call, 210 174th Street, apartment 2311. Yeah, I think it's something to consider, but there's many properties that the city could consider probably better. And one, the master is a letter of intent, I believe, has been issued to you from the master, Winston Towers. So if you want a park, we're giving you a park, leasing it. And that's like 5 times the size of that little park over there, and you can have that park. Agreement needs to come, but over the years we've finally come into a unanimous decision between the 7 Winston Tower buildings, and you'll have all the park you'll need there, about 5 times the size. So that's something, if you haven't seen the letter of intent, something for you to look at and consider.
Thank you.
That's all.
Okay. Procedurally, I think we should have had the manager read this, or it was already read in the beginning, so it's okay.
The what, I'm sorry, Mayor?
The item, because we did not combine them.
No, I read it already.
You did? All right. I don't believe there's any more discussion, but if anybody would like to add anything, I'll give you this opportunity. Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I need a second. Okay, the item dies. Next item.
$9K is a resolution approving the issuance of a proclamation recognizing September 18th, 2025 as Emmanuel Machado Day in the city of Sunny Isles Beach.
Okay. Is Emmanuel here?
No.
He's not here?
No, this will be issued.
Oh,
next
that's right,
month.
of course. All right. Sorry. We have a new process in place. So this is being co-sponsored by Commissioner Viscara, and I think every single person added. We're all co-sponsoring it. So I'm just going to say briefly to allow everyone to say a few words. So once this goes through, considering we've all co-sponsored it, the proclamation will happen next month. So if you can come back next month, I think that he would appreciate it. This is in regards to what you might have seen on the news, the Tesla that tragically landed in the water by, I think it was Arlen House, and Emmanuel was working as a security guard, and he bravely jumped in, something that I think very few people would do, especially Teslas are electric, it was a little dangerous, but he's a 19-year-old young man, and the entire commission wanted to commend him. So this is the preliminary. We would just vote on this, and then next month we would present him with that proclamation. Did anybody want to say anything, or you want to wait till next month?
No, I think that this is exactly right, the kind of thing you wanna highlight. And I don't think we've ever had an item where we all sign on as sponsors or co-sponsors. I think that says a lot for this young man.
Agreed.
So good for him, and we'll see him next month.
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item.
9L is a resolution of the City Commission approving the issuance of a recognition of a proclamation recognizing the 114th National Day of the Republic of China, Taiwan.
Okay, so this is something that we do annually. We have a sister city in Taiwan. We've done this every single year since I can remember. Again, this would be presented to them next month, but this is in recognition of their 114th year. So I'll take a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item.
9M is a resolution honoring Israeli Consul General Maor Elbaz Starinsky with a key to the city in recognition of his diplomatic service.
Yeah, so our new process kind of makes it a little anticlimactic because we sort of give away what we're going to be doing the next month. But former Consul General of Israel, Mayor Starinsky, has now become just a regular person. I believe he's a resident of Sunny Isles Beach. This would be, if passed, our very first key to the city that was exclusively meant for diplomats, heads of state, those that are visiting us. And I think that he has been an incredible addition to our community in general in Sunny Isles Beach, but really just the north area and really all of Miami-Dade County and obviously Florida. And this would be, I think, an honor for us to recognize him next month.
I agree.
And you were, Commissioner Joseph is co-sponsoring this with me. So 3 people. Okay. I need a motion then?
I will make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item.
9N is a resolution recognizing the historical and cultural significance of the regions known as Judea and Samaria and affirming the use of historically accurate terminology.
Okay, so this is my item. Commissioner Joseph, you're co-sponsoring with me?
I am. Thank you.
Correct. So we did this last year. I don't remember exactly which month it was.
September.
September, thank you. We recognize Judea and Samaria as the proper historical and biblical name for what some call the West Bank in Israel. And I think that the community has seen that overall this commission has been incredibly supportive of Israel and anything having to do with fighting anti-Semitism. And while we don't get involved in matters of foreign affairs, this is a little bit different because this does tell our residents that we do support an area of Israel that right now is being discussed heavily in Israel, but also at the at the federal level, at the federal government. I believe that there's going to be a representative in Florida that's going to be carrying this, so this gets passed in Florida. And Governor Huckabee of Arkansas has recently passed this as well, so this would make us, I guess, the first city, again, to recognize Judea and Samaria. Commissioner Joseph, did you want to add something?
I just being a historian myself, I believe that these are the true names, that we should go by those, and it's recognition of the history of the Jewish state and its history and the history of the Jewish people.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion?
I would make a motion, yes.
Oh, wait. Do we have any public speakers?
No, not for this one.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item.
Next item is 9O, a resolution authorizing the city of Sunny Isles Beach to join an amicus curiae brief in support of the city of Miami and the Currens Apartments LP versus the city of Miami appeal.
Mr. Sexton's your item.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna read the memo. However, we have here Mr. Daniel Malan from the city of Miami. So I would like to let him explain it, or I can read it. Okay. The attached resolution proposed that the city of Sunny Isles Beach join an amicus brief alongside the city of Miami Beach and Hialeah in support of the city of Miami in the Currens Apartments versus city of Miami case. This case could significantly impact how Burr-Harris Act is applied to municipalities, potentially increasing legal exposure and financial liabilities for cities across Florida. By joining the brief, Sunny Isles will be standing with fellow municipalities to advocate for a narrow interpretation of the Act, preserve local decision-making authority, and protect public resources.
Okay.
And we have a public speaker.
Do we have any public speakers?
Yes, Daniel Mallon. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Daniel Mayland. I'm here in my individual capacity. I'm not a lobbyist. I just happen to be a lawyer that tried this case for the city of Miami.
Can
As
you just give us
outside
your
counsel.
address, please?
Sure. It's 478 Northeast 56th Street.
Thank you.
And I'm mainly here to help answer questions as to this. Just as a point of background, the Burt-Harris Act is a kind of a nuanced area of the law. I'm not sure if you've encountered it. It was enacted in 1995. And what it does is it creates a statutory cause of action for property owners whose real property is inordinately burdened by a specific government action. I do the air quotes because it's actually a defined term. What that means is if the city tries to make a change somewhere, there is a property owner that believes that that change is going to impact what they believe to be their reasonable investment-backed expectations for their property. I intended to make money on my property doing this, and this change is going to affect my ability to do that. They have a cause of action. The city of Miami got sued in one of these matters, and we were able to prevail, and it's on appeal. The appeal, if it's successful, could drastically change this law and open up floodgates, allowing plaintiffs to file a lot of these suits, and the damages for these suits are paid by the taxpayers. And so what we're hoping to do is preserve our ruling because it allows the law as it stands now, which is established, to stay as it is. The city of Miami Beach and the city of Hialeah agreed. They are putting forward an amicus brief. The League of Cities of Miami-Dade County is also putting forward an amicus brief. And I was invited here to help clarify because I believe the city of Sunny Isles is considering joining in the city of Miami Beach and Hialeah's amicus brief. There'd be no expense to the city of Sunny Isles. It's being drafted already. It would just be something for the city of Sunny Isles to review if it is satisfied and join in those cities' support of the court's ruling, the trial court's ruling. Happy to answer any questions you may have as one of the lawyers who is involved in the case, and I very much appreciate your attention and consideration of this.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Wait, one second, please.
Sorry.
I just want to, for clarification, we normally don't go back and forth, but this is a different kind of situation, so I'm going to allow it just for those in the audience that feel like they should have been given an opportunity to ask questions. Normally we don't, but since you have a very specific role in this, I will allow it. Go ahead, Mr.
So you have 40 seconds. So in the 37 seconds you have left, what's the story behind this? Like what's the incident? What's the story?
I could do it in 20. No, there's
Go
built
ahead.
there's
That's
a
16.
one-story building by a highway. The city of Miami has a mural ordinance that allows for advertising murals to be hung on the side of buildings. You may have seen them on the side of 195. They're big, like tacked onto buildings, and there's a limited number of those. And this building was moved outside of the boundary area of that ordinance. The ordinance is not a permanent ordinance, and the city of Miami adjusted the boundary area of it. And that building was in it, and it got moved out of it. And the owner of that building, though it had no contract with an advertiser, had no permit on the building was 1 story, is not visible from a highway, sued the city of Miami for $20 million saying, we should have the right to hang a mural. We were going to hang a mural. Had all these plans to do it. And because you moved us out of the boundary area, we can't do that anymore. And so you owe us $20 million. It should be paid by all the taxpayers. And the court ruled that because they didn't have a reasonable expectation of investment here, there was a reasonable investment back expectation, and they didn't have a mural contract, they didn't have a permit at the time of the change, they couldn't hang a mural and have it be visible for a number of reasons. They don't qualify to receive damages under the Burt-Harris Act, and they lost the case.
Okay.
Sorry for taking longer.
Thank you.
No, that's all right.
All right, thank you very much.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to clarify something.
You can sit down, thank you.
The statement was made that the city's interested in joining this. I'm not aware of this. I don't know anything about it. I wasn't consulted about it. I spoke with Alan. He was not consulted. So I just want to clarify that. It's ultimately up to the commission, but neither of us are aware of any of this. And I don't know the implications of the city.
If I may add to that.
Please, go ahead.
I mean, it's an interesting story, but we're being asked to join a brief that's not even written yet. And so, I mean, I would not it's untimely.
Okay. Vice Mayor, do you have any questions?
Mayor.
Yeah, I would like to do more research on it and get to know the subject more, consult with our city attorney. And then, yeah, once I have all the information and I'm able to analyze it, talk to our staff, I can consider this for next month. But yeah, I would need to know what I'm voting on.
Yeah.
Commissioner Joseph?
Okay. So, for me, this case hinges on a mural. In Sunny Isles, we don't really have those issues. I don't see how this might relate to a situation that we might have in Sunny Isles regarding the height of a building or any other Bird Harris issue that would help us even if you were to win. Can you tell me how we might, your case might assist us in the future if we were to join it?
It is about the interpretation of the law.
Well,
how
but
was
this is a
interpreted.
particular
Yeah.
case regarding a mural. We don't have anything similar to that.
It's not about the
our
mural.
the future circumstance
Joseph.
might be
Yeah.
regarding something else, which I believe a developer might have a stronger case.
No, it's about the way the act was interpreted. So
No,
they
I
are
understand,
requesting
but
to make it
I'm
narrow.
going further than that.
Oh, okay, I understand.
I'm looking at it, this is a case-specific issue, and I don't see that this would help Sunny Isles in the future at all.
Okay, sure. Just for clarification, back in August 8th, 6:33 p.m., when I got the email from the city of Miami, requesting or the possibility of joining them, and I actually forwarded the exact email that I got to our city clerk, our city attorney, and our city manager. That was August 8th, 6:33 p.m. And that's when I asked Mauricio to put it in the agenda as well for this month. So all the information that I got, except for the personal information I got during the meeting before that, I did share with the leadership. That's it.
Just to be clear, though, Mayor, if I can.
One second, Commissioner Viscara.
No, if I can just say, typically in these situations, council would contact the city attorney. I've been in these situations before. We were not contacted. We don't have a copy of the brief, and just being copied in on an email asking the clerk to put something on the agenda doesn't direct me to necessarily know anything about this. But the proper course is to contact. In all the times that I've been involved with amicus, requests for amicus briefs or to join in them, there's a conversation between the attorneys because you are represented by counsel. That did not occur. So I can't advise you one way or the other as to whether you should or you should not proceed with this, particularly since the brief has not been written. And the other thing that has to be determined is if we're joining the brief, even though there's no cost, if another attorney is going to be signing on our behalf, you're essentially retaining those attorneys to represent you in the appeal, or is it the city attorney that's going to be signing off on it?
Okay.
I have a question for Alan.
1 second, just because I don't think I missed much, but I just want to point out that I feel the same as the Vice Mayor. I don't have enough information. We had our agenda review on Tuesday, and we'd asked for additional information from Commissioner Stuyvesant. She wasn't able to provide that. So I think that this definitely needs to be reviewed in much more detail. But go ahead, Commissioner Joseph.
Alan, I have a question for you. Do you see this also as a case-specific instance that really, since we don't have any issues such as this?
I don't know anything about the case, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, it's regarding a mural.
Well, no, that facts lead to a certain legal controversy. The interpretation of that law can apply across the board. It's not necessarily just, yes, there may be a determination based on that particular fact pattern, but it has implications on other fact patterns depending on how they interpret the law. But specifically on this particular case, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, 2 points. number one, can we give the direction for our city attorney to be in communication with the city of Miami in regard to this issue? And the second thing I want to say is that about the workshop on Tuesday, yes, I was able to give the explanation about the case. However, I chose not to, because I'm not going to be participating in a workshop where we actually are having the commission meeting, where we are having the conversations with the staff, where we can ask questions. And now, like you guys can see, there is nobody in the staff here to answer any question about finance, public works, code enforcement, building, etc. Because we are having those meetings Tuesday mornings. They are not being broadcasted. We're basically breaking sunshine by doing that. We are not giving the public the opportunity to talk and ask questions or do anything. And again, those meetings are not even broadcast. So the reason why you don't see anybody here of the staff to answer any question is because right now we are against transparency in this commission by doing those secret meetings on Tuesday mornings. So yes, I was very able to answer the questions, and I chose not to, and I'm going to continue choosing not to actively participate and listening to you guys. I don't even come physically. I'm listening in Zoom because during those meetings, I am capable of seeing how they're going to vote. So clearly, we're having like a quasi meeting, which is the real commission meeting, before this BS meeting that we're having. Yes.
Thank you for that. Are there any more comments? All right. I'll take a motion.
Make the motion.
Anyone second?
Like I said before, my motion is to request our city attorney to be in communications with the city attorney of the city of Miami. That's it.
But that's not on the agenda. So let's start with this item first.
No, of course I make the motion. Is my item.
Is there a second? Okay, so the item dies.
I make another motion.
I don't think you need a motion for that because you can still add it on for next month, and the city attorney can have conversations.
Well, I want to make sure that they're going to be able to talk, that we are giving him the direction or the permission if needed.
Could you confirm?
Talk to the city of Miami.
Can you clarify the process for Commissioner Stuyvesant of how that would work?
If council is still interested, he can contact me, and then we can discuss the case, and then I can give you a proper recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next item is our add-on item. Thank you. I just want to remind everyone that's here, we had an add-on item, so if you wanted to speak to that, it's item 9.
P as in Peter.
Sorry, go ahead.
9P is a resolution supporting the designation of the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism under United States law, urging the United States Congress and the Department of State to enact and implement legislation consistent with the intent of Senate bills introduced by Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal.
Okay, so I'm going to read the resolution. It says, whereas the city of Sunny Isles Beach is a diverse and vibrant community committed to promoting peace, security, and the well-being of its residents and the global community, and whereas the Russian Federation's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine beginning in 2014 and escalating in 2022, has involved documented atrocities, war crimes, and the reported abduction of over 20,000 Ukrainian children, actions which constitute a grave threat to international peace and security, and whereas U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, and Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, have introduced bipartisan legislation, including the Russia is a State Sponsor of Terrorism Act, to designate the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism under U.S. law, which would impose significant sanctions, restrict foreign assistance, curtail defense and technology exports, and eliminate Russia's sovereign immunity in U.S. courts, thereby allowing victims of Russian state-sponsored terrorism to seek justice. And whereas such a designation will place the Russian Federation alongside other nations, including Cuba, Iran, North Korea, and Syria, recognized by the United States as state sponsor of terrorism, for repeatedly providing support for acts of international terrorism, and whereas the city of Sunny Isles Beach recognizes the importance of holding nations accountable for actions that undermine global stability, human rights, and democratic values, and believe that designating the Russian Federation as a state sponsor of terrorism will send a clear message that such behavior is unacceptable. And whereas the city home to a diverse population, including many residents of Eastern European descent, has a unique interest in promoting peace and condemning actions that destabilize the international community, particularly in regions connected to its residents' heritage. And whereas the city wishes to express its support for federal efforts to address the Russian Federation actions and to stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine and other victims of Russian aggression.
Thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Are there any comments or questions from the commission?
I would like to add my name to the resolution.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, so can you tell me when Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal proposed this?
I don't have it with me. The first time was in 2024, and they have it right now again in 2025.
They have it again?
Yes, so it happened last year, and it's happening again.
Okay, because I was doing a little research, and right now the United States officially does not designate Russia as a terrorist
They
or
have
a
the
sponsor.
bill. Yeah, this is supporting the bill.
The bill is there. Yeah. No,
It's about the children, the adoption of the children.
No, I know it's about the I'm just, I mean, this was just put on today. I know that it's there, but as of right now, the U.S. does not designate Russia as that. So the other thing is that, right now there's negotiations going on that Trump is leading to have Putin and Zelensky meet. So I'm obviously the goal here is peace. So I don't know enough about this bill because it was an add-on today. Obviously I have my personal opinions on what's going on. There is atrocities going on. I don't think, everybody's opposed to what's going on, but I mean, at this point, I would need to learn more about it. I would like to study it more, especially given that there's negotiations ongoing right now to try to achieve a ceasefire and permanent peace. So I would like to take a deeper look at this and see what the United States is going to decide, the federal government is going to decide, because as of now, it is not designating Russia as a sponsor of terrorist state. Now, my personal opinions might be different, but I'm just trying to shed some light on right now what the federal stance is and what is going on to try to end that war.
Well, my resolution will be just to support the bill and send a copy of the bill, of our resolution supporting the bill to Senator Graham and Blumenthal. Nothing more than that. So, like what we do when we are supporting a bill in Tallahassee or anywhere else.
No, I understand, but I mean, I would like this was presented to us today. I was just like Googling stuff, and stuff was coming up here and there. So, to be honest with you, I'm still like a little bit like trying to get all my information in order. I do have an issue when we bring foreign policy into the dais, because there's a lot of nuances, and sometimes, we say things or we think we know things that perhaps we don't know, because the realities on the ground are different, and we're elected to take care of the city and the well-being of the community. So it doesn't mean that I am not, in favor or opposed to something. I do have my personal opinions, but I would like to take a deeper look at, the information here. Because, at this point it says, no, the United States has not officially designated Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. That could be different. It doesn't mean that it's
clearly.
not.
I
But,
just want to support their bill. Again,
I understand.
very similar to what we do when we send something to Tallahassee. It doesn't mean that it's going to pass or anything. A community like Sunny Isles, I was approached by members of the Ukrainian community for this bill. A few days ago, I gave it before today also to our city clerk, but not on time for a cut-off date. And they want to see that we recognize what is happening to their community in some way, shape, or form. Like you said, there are conversations to end the war. And at the same time that those conversations are happening, Russia continue bombing Ukraine.
No, I
So-
understand.
so-
I believe me, I follow the
And
news
I
a lot.
understand that we don't want to be involved in federal policy, which that's what we did in the resolution before this one about Judea and Samaria.
I understand, and there was a mistake there that
But we did it.
Spectrum,
That's the
yeah.
point, you know. So, like I said, my point with this, I want to honor our Eastern European community, our Ukrainian community that requested this. Many of the people don't feel like coming forward even to talk because of their immigration status. So they will not put themselves here, even in support or nothing like that. They're even scared of sending an email. That's how bad it is, okay? So, like I said, I'm not looking to start anything with anyone, any country or so. What I just want to honor a request from the community. I just want to honor the suffering that they have. The initial resolution they sent me is a lot longer, and I took everything else. Like they wanted to talk about everything Russia has been doing over the years, and I said, let's keep it specifically about the children and about this issue right now with the war, and I'm okay moving that forward. And to your point, is just to give a copy of our support and send it to the Senate, to the senators, to know that this community of Sunny Elsby, the city of Sunny Elsby, support their bill. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, I think we've supported the Ukrainian community. We've had, events. We've had some, events at some of our parks. We've supported them through different means. And I'm just stating that I would like to, take a deeper look at what, these two congressmen are proposing. So, yeah.
Commissioner
I-
Viscar,
yeah.
give Commissioner Viscar a chance.
Thank you. So, I mean, as an add-on and this not being an urgent matter, I appreciate you bringing it forward, but I'm not inclined to support it just because, starting with the fact that it's an add-on, and it's not like a super urgent thing. However, I have heard from the community, it's, there's all this talk about Israel, but there's a war going on in Ukraine, and how come you guys don't talk about us? And I think that's a fair comment, because we have, and I think that, I guess what's different is that we have both Ukrainian and Russian residents, and you have people, I don't know where people are on either side. I mean, I guess that's what makes it different. However, when it initially happened, we definitely came out in support of Ukraine, but then we stopped, right? It just stayed there. And subsequently, October 7th happened, and then it's been more focused on Israel. I think generally for me, I think it's appropriate to respond, but after a while, and I've said this before, and I feel that it becomes about us and not really the conflict, right? It becomes about our political positioning and not really whoever it is that we're talking about. But because I have heard from the community, also that they're like, well, you're not mentioning us. I think it's fair game. But I think in general, for me, it's, like the Vice Mayor was saying, you have your personal opinions. For me, I feel like morally, I have a difficult time weighing in on such atrocities, like global issues, that from which my political position may be enhanced. You know what I'm saying? I feel very uncomfortable positioning myself to potentially benefit from such a horrible, horrible thing in the world, which is why I think we should acknowledge it, as we did with Ukraine and we did with Israel. But I think when we take it beyond that, and I've reached that point, and I've said it before when I talk about political points, I think we have to be careful about that. I don't think we should be benefiting politically from these things. So I'm about at my threshold with being outside our local lane. But I think it's fair to bring it up when we've talked so much about one conflict, but not another, when it affects a segment of the community that we haven't mentioned. Maybe in like 2 years since it happened. I just think we need to be very, very careful using a tragedy that we can then turn around and use to benefit ourselves politically. I think we need to be very, very careful about that.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Commissioner Joseph has been waiting to say something.
Okay. So for me, I feel that it's about what's right, what I feel in my heart, and I was elected to be an advocate for the residents and to make my votes up on the dais according to what I'm told by the community, be it the Jewish community or the Ukrainian or the Russian community or the Arab community. I have to listen to the majority on all sides and advocate for those people. And in this regard, I support this resolution, that I watch all the news channels. I know exactly what's going on. I have my personal feelings, but I'm advocating for the residents, and I support this resolution wholeheartedly.
And if may I, it's nothing political. This is bipartisan by both Republican and Democrats. This is not to be used for any political reasons. Like I said, it's about the children, because even to the Vice Mayor point, even if the war finishes tomorrow, they need to make sure that these 20,000 children that they've been abducted are going to come back to their parents, if they're alive, or to their families in Ukraine. So, and there are other things, like I said, that they were there that I didn't want to include because they are too terrible to even to write them or to mention them. But this was important for the community. It was not one person or two that came to me. They actually write it for me. I change it a lot, like I said. But they asked me to put it in the agenda for them. And it's important for them. It's about the children. This is not to go and hold a rally and say, look what I did. At least that's not my intention to be used at all, other than to send to the Senate, to both senators, Democrat and Republican, and let them know that we are supporting their bill to make sure that the children are going to come back to their families. I see it very simple. It was a request from the community. I honor those requests.
One second before you say anything, Vice Mayor, because I do want to take a vote, and I just, and normally I would just take a vote and I wouldn't comment on this, but I have to comment as the only member on this commission that is of both Ukrainian and Russian descent and Russian speaking. I think it's an incredible disservice to our community to put this on so last minute and not give them an opportunity to come up and speak. I think it's important that they're part of any conversation where we designate a country that they visit. In fact, there are probably many that just came back this summer from that part of the world as a terrorist state, because what that means is that if they were designated a terrorist state by the United States, then American citizens cannot travel there.
They can. They wish to.
They can't. Legally, they can't. Legally, they can't. So my point is that, and I can appreciate what Commissioner Vizcarra is saying as far as politicizing something, and I can also appreciate why you're doing this, Commissioner Stuyvesant. We do have a very large Ukrainian population. We have a very large Russian population. But I think that we're, and I'm not going to pretend to know how much of the history you know of that area, but you also have to anticipate that there's a lot of people that have both Ukrainian and Russian families. And so this is a very, very touchy subject that would absolutely have to include the community's input in order to ever pass something like this. I think that it is a major disservice to the community to rush something like this unless they came out and asked for it.
Yeah, I totally disagree. Plus, I thought that you were Belarusian, but whatever.
So that's exactly my point, that for you, you don't understand the area. I was born in Belarus. It doesn't necessarily, it's very different.
Okay,
so with that said.
So it's very fluid, clearly. The point is that, like I said, the community came to me. We do have the power to add things to the agenda. They came after my cut date to add these items to be published. That's why I'm honoring what the community requests me to do.
What's the urgency?
They want it right now, and I honor my community. Yes, that's the urgency is the children being kidnapped and taken to another country, and they might never come back. That is the urgency. Children being right now in the hands of another country.
Okay, and so you believe that by us passing this resolution today that would change?
I believe that this should be sent to both senators that are having this conversation in the Senate, where actually something can happen. We having this conversation here not going to make any impact what's happening in the region.
Okay, well, like the Vice Mayor said, without any sort of background or information short of what we got today, it's virtually impossible to even have this conversation in a meaningful way at all.
And that's your opinion. So I have the resolution and I'll make a motion.
All right.
I just want to add something, if I
Please
may.
go ahead.
My concerns about politicizing conflict is not solely about Russia and Ukraine.
Oh,
right?
I know that.
I
understand.
extend that to what we've said about Israel and my concerns about
understand.
that. And if you're going to challenge Commissioner Stuyvesant on what this fixes, then that challenges everything you've brought forward too. Right? So either we're trying to do something or we're not.
Yes, and everyone's free to vote yes or no.
Agreed. So, but let's call it what it is. I'm just not prepared to vote on something because I haven't had enough time.
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Yeah, so very simple, very simple. I would need to read the bill, okay? Now, I am concerned about the timing of this bill from Senator Lindsey Graham. He's a very pro-war senator, which, leads me to suspect the timing of this bill, to be honest with you, especially when they're in the middle of negotiations and they're trying to set up a meeting between Putin and Zelensky to end the war. That needs to happen like yesterday. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, understand it better. My heart goes out to all the suffering out there, the Ukrainian children that have died, the innocent people. I think we made our feelings very clear regarding that. But when you have these senators proposing this at this time, at this juncture, and we're talking about politics, because unfortunately there's politicians, there's people in this world that would like to see wars continue,
But just remember that the bill was from 2024.
No, it's from 2024 and was reintroduced just now.
Correct. So
just
that's
now. So you got to look at the context of everything.
clearly.
Right now, my goal would be for all wars to end, So, and unfortunately, there's members of Congress that are just, hawks, war hawks, So you need to be very careful on what bills you're supporting. I would need to read that bill and see what it entails, see what consequences it leads to. Because let's say that bill does pass. Let's say that we as a country designate Russia as a terrorist state and the war continues. Is that the outcome we want? And yeah, so we need to look at all of that.
Gonna vote with a conscience.
So especially, where this bill is coming from and who are the people sponsoring this bill.
All right, Commissioner Stuyvesant made a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
We'll do a roll call.
Yeah, thanks.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara, Vice Mayor Lama,
No.
Mayor Svetchin.
No.
The resolution fails 2-3.
Okay.
I just have a clarification. Can we vote not ready, not yes or no? Because I didn't know we could do that.
No, it's just a yes or no.
It's basically a no.
Oh,
But,
okay,
but I want you to understand it's
Okay.
Okay. I guess maybe it should have been a deferment, but I'm just not ready to vote for it.
Okay, now we're on to Citizens Forum.
Yes.
Do we have public speaker cards?
do.
Thank you for all of you that are planning to speak, for your patience.
Natalia Wilson.
Please, your
Good
name and
evening.
address for the record, please. Hi.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner. So, my concern about my commercial property.
Natalia, if you can just give your name and address, please.
Yeah, okay, of course. I'm Natalia Wilson. Address 400 Sunny Isles Boulevard, Commercial Unit C4. We are running full license for cup licensed restaurant with indoor-outdoor seating. So I purchased the great location with a public bay walk around that property, which is now blocked because of new construction in 400 Sunny Isles 8 disappeared behind the FPL box, which doesn't have register in Miami-Dade County any easement. I was asked city for help for 2.5 years to just enforce your resolution. So I was sent to one department, to another department. Like that jurisdictional ping pong, it's already, like been in place for 2.5 years. Even more, now we have hazard light, like which is replaced by HOA. So yeah, I already, like may request with Durham and Health Environmental Department, because I think so it's not that good position from the city. Just please focus on your own resolution. If follow, like resolution, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jan Dubin.
Your
Good evening,
name-
everyone.
Hi. Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jan Dubin, address 230-174th Street, apartment 1703. Been in Sunny Isles for over 10 years. My first time here speaking in front of you, so excited. Here, really, on behalf of parents, residents, and the kids of Sunny Isles, over 270 petitions have been signed in support for Jermaine Barkley and reinstatement of him into the role that he previously had as a head coach of soccer. We really got together. We were really shocked that he was no longer with Sunny Isles, and we really gathered a lot of our thoughts together to get him back. The kids love him. We think that he proposes a lot of positive attitude and instills greatness in our kids, and he pushes them forward. We're really here. We understand that the city is saying that he can apply back for the job and he would be considered. So we're here really asking for your support in letting him kind of come back, and anything that you can help to get him back into our roles. I think our kids and parents, as parents, would be really appreciative of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I signed your resolution, by the way, in support.
Vitaly Falkovich.
Vitaly.
Are we allowed to understand the issue regarding Jermaine?
You can speak to the city manager about it separately.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Vitaly Palkovich, 9280 Southwest 167 Terrace, Palmetto Bay, Miami. One of the things that is coming up, the budget, and my main support is for Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. I don't know if you guys are aware, a couple weeks ago, Sunny Isles Beach Police Department conducted a traffic stop on somebody who was a predator using one of the equipment that they bought. And my feeling is that I ask you to provide more money for more budget for police department for that equipment, because based on what's going on, the gentleman that brought two girls here for sexual exploitation, there's no way, police department were able to do something if they didn't have that kind of equipment. I also asked the city commission that officers that conducted the traffic stop on the gentleman be recognized for their work. I believe that Sunny Isles Beach Police Department is one of the best police departments that I've ever been in contact with as a businessman. I have a lot of clients here, and I really think that they deserve financial support from this commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Mauricio?
Isabella Souls.
Okay, so my address is 326 Poinciana Island Drive. Name Isabel Swalls. So I just wanted to address the commission based off, like, I've been in the meeting today, and to talk about something that I think one of the commissioners brought up, which is that the commission is not being consistent, especially in your regards to foreign policy, which is something that is discussed at almost every single meeting I've been at. In particular, the item 9N, which was directed about changing or recognizing the historical cultural significance of Samaria and Judea. Okay. And then we have an item talking about recognizing Russia as a terrorist state, but we don't vote on that. So that's what I just don't understand, is this inconsistency of the commission of recognizing and picking and choosing which countries merit for us to recognize their suffering. So that's just not something that's being really consistent. And yes, it's been 3 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And I think the Ukrainian community is right that they've been, I guess, in a way, ignored. It's been 3 years, and actually that doesn't make the suffering any better. In those 3 years, things have gotten worse. Yes, I understand. I acknowledge that Trump has been pushing for Zelensky and Putin to have peace. They've been pushing for peace for 3 years, and nothing has happened yet. So I'm very disappointed in the lack of consistency in the commission. You ask, what would passing do for Ukraine? What would it do for the children who have been kidnapped? And nothing. But what would passing a resolution for the city of Sunny Isles Beach to stop, cut off relations with states like Spain and Ireland who recognize a Palestinian state, what would that do for that conflict? And the response to that was, well, it would help us. It would show the city of St. Isles Beach would show that they don't stand with states that support terrorism. What would this do? It would show that the city of Sunny Isles Beach doesn't at least side with a country who also has committed has committed some acts of terrorism. So I just don't understand where this discrepancy comes from. I think if you guys go either all in and yes, talk about foreign policy and give an opinion and show that you stand with the good guys, or stop and focus on city issues, because right now this is severely inconsistent and it's, I think, disrespectful to communities who are suffering here, for their families abroad, and also for the victims that are suffering abroad as well. So I think the city just needs to be consistent, and I would encourage everyone not just to vote with your conscience, but if you're going to introduce items, also with conscience, that these actions, albeit symbolic, do carry some weight to them, especially to the people who are watching and to the residents of the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
That's all.
Okay. Before I adjourn, I just, on the record, because Commissioner Joseph did ask me something on the side about the question of the employee that resigned, and I just want to say that for privacy reasons, we would not discuss something like that, but you could speak obviously to the manager.
And Mayor, if I could just say, I would just caution you on this issue also, that in your charter, you're not supposed to deal with employment matters. So just be careful in
right,
how
and
much
so
you delve into that.
It's been a long night, so I appreciate you bringing that up. So if you can just clarify that. Let me clarify. What I meant was if there was questions that were appropriate to ask. But obviously, we do not get involved with employment matters. It's against our charter. So with that, thank you, everyone that's here. Meeting adjourned. Good night.